currently trying to learn React fast forward before Eric goes through it with us. So I've been doing some small projects, okay, to like try to understand
Okay.
the JSX. Yeah. And then I think last week I completed my to-do list, but it was an assignment he gave us. We were using vanilla JavaScript. So later on he told us to apply CSS. Yeah, and I did that too.
Wow, that's great.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah,
That's great. Nice progress, eh? It shows that you're
thank you.
ambitious.
So yeah, I am.
Okay, I guess we should start, and then maybe your friends will join us later on because we have a lot. So, which operating system are you using?
Okay,
You're using which operating
I'm
system?
using Windows 10.
Windows 10, yeah?
Okay, I have two. Like when I'm studying, I use Windows. When I'm going for like class, I use Windows 10, and when I'm doing my work, I use Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. Actually, Ubuntu would have been the best
Mm,
option for Python, eh? And Django.
okay,
But if at all you're using Windows, it's still okay. I'm going to show you how to set it up on Windows.
all right.
So, have you heard of Django Girls Kampala?
No,
Oh, okay. So today we're going to look at Django, but before we do that, I'm going to first show you. Actually, I'm going to like show you the video, but let's first look at what's Django.
all right.
So this is the Django official documentation. Let me share my screen. Are you seeing my screen?
I can't see your screen.
Okay.
Please share.
Are you seeing my screen now?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay. So this is the official documentation for Django, and they're telling us Django makes it easier to build better web apps more quickly and with less code. So Django is a framework for Python. Last week, I don't know if it was last week or last week but one, we had an introduction to Python. But since these languages share the same fundamentals and the same basics, so we didn't take much time going deep into Python. So we decided to like put some time aside and then more time and give it to Django, which is the framework, and where we're going to build more amazing projects compared when we just learn the Python fundamentals and the building blocks alone. So we decided to put a major focus and emphasis on Django, which is a Python framework. So most of the code that you're going to see that's auto-generated when we install Django or when we have Django set up on our machines is Python code. So if at all like you know how to edit Python code, how you know how to edit JavaScript, because the things are the same. If it's a function, now we have functions in Python, we have functions in JavaScript. If it's a class, we have the same things. If it's a variable, the only difference is the syntax, how it's written in JavaScript and how it's written in Python. But for Django, it's going to be strictly Python code and going to be following the rules of Python. So frameworks, they make it easy to develop applications. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just like we learned CSS, and then later on we introduced Bootstrap. So instead of writing 10 lines of code to make a button red in Bootstrap, you just add a class of BT and maybe danger to get that red button. So Django works in the same way. We already know Python, so we're going to look at how to develop an app quickly and with less code using Django. So we're going to be following the documentation and then also the Django Girls tutorial. So I'll share a video and show you what happens at Django Girls Kampala. So here they're just giving us more details about Django. They're telling us Django is a high-level Python web framework that encourages rapid, clean, programmatic design built by experienced developers. It takes care of much of the hassle of web development, so you can focus on writing your app without needing to reinvent the wheel. It's free and open source. Just like I explained about frameworks, they make things easy. So if you already know how to, like, I'll use an example of CSS again. If you know how to use the CSS rules, you know what selectors are, you know what the declaration are, we know what properties and values are. You don't need to reinvent the wheel of doing the same thing and then writing too much code. You can simply make use of the existing frameworks. So Django, the same thing. We have other alternatives like Flask, we have Django, we have Boto, we have Pyramid. They are all Python frameworks, but we want to focus on Django. Then Django is very, very fast. That's why we're going to be using it. You can develop apps quickly. And it was designed, like they're telling us, it was designed to help developers take applications from concept to completion as quick as possible. Yes, it's very, very quick. So long as you have the idea and you know exactly what you want to put in, you can develop an app very, very quickly. Then it's very, very secure. Reassuring is secure because it takes care of security and helps developers avoid many common security mistakes. Yes, so Django will always notify us if at all we're trying to set a weak password. They will show us how to generate a more secure password and a stronger one. Even if when you're storing your passwords, they always store characters, like they'll encrypt them into long strings so that someone cannot easily trace them. So it gives us a lot when it comes to security. It also gives us an admin section whereby there is a public site and then there is also an administrator for an application. So this is all generated very, very quickly. So you don't have to worry about now who is the admin, who has these rights, who can delete users. We're going to look at how to do all that. Then it's exceedingly scalable, so that you can work with Django and other languages, so it doesn't limit you. So you can have your back end, you can have your API written in Django, and then on the front end you use a different language. It's very, very scalable. You can change everything you want and then just leave what you can remove whatever you don't want and just leave what you don't want. You can add customize everything, the admin section, your pages. Maybe you just want to develop the API in Django and then on the front end you use another language, maybe React, that's JavaScript, or maybe any other language on the front end. So it's very, very flexible. It doesn't limit you. So examples of websites that were built with Django. We have Mozilla. Let me show you. Websites that were built with Django. So we have these are websites. We have Bitbucket, that's an alternative for GitHub. We have Instagram, we have Mozilla Firefox, we have Pinterest. We have all these sites are built using Django. So they have a Django element in it. It might not be like a Django fully, but it has at least some element of Django. So the other thing is, let me show you the Django Girls tutorial. Because you have Django Girls Kampala, maybe you should join. So this is the Django Girls website, and this is the video. Hope you're still seeing my screen.
Yes, I can't see.
Can you hear as well?
Yes.
Django Girls is a worldwide initiative, and we are having our events in all different places in the world. But today we are in Warsaw.
We are accompanied by 15 coaches who are volunteers and spending the whole Saturday teaching them about creating websites, building, and the beauty of open source and internet.
And we want to teach them how to start programming and how to make things work.
We have amazing coaches here who are experienced, who know how to solve problems.
I'm here because I love teaching, and here I have a perfect opportunity because I have crazily intelligent people willing to learn new stuff that I'm personally interested in. So I love it.
The most exciting part is that we can show girls how to build their first web page, and we can also show them that it takes some work, and it's usually hard work, but in the end you succeed and then you're really happy and really motivated to continue.
We aim to teach them, to show them that programming is super fun. It's not as complicated as a sim.
But the goal is to get them excited, show them how the internet works and how you can contribute to it, not just be an observer. You can just create things and make things happen and make your ideas come true.
I'm here to make sure that Django community, Python community is more diverse. I want to show people that, especially women, that programming is for them, programming is for girls.
I think I'm done for this tutorial I have received. I'm done, and I have even added some functions to my website, and I have published it, and I'm very happy with that.
We're having fun, real fun here, so if you have a chance, come and join us.
So that's Django Girls page. So for Django Girls, it's just a community that supports women who want to code. So they basically support the Python language.
Justin, your voice is very low.
My voice. Okay, let me try.
I can barely hear.
Okay.
Okay, that's much better.
Okay. So I was saying Django Girls is a community that telling you it's a non-profit organization and community as well that empowers and helps women to organize free one-day programming workshops by providing tools, resources, and support. So they always organize a one day, like a full day, and then different ladies from different communities, from different organizations, from different universities go there, meet, and then code. They actually create a Django Girls blog that day, and they provide all the tools. They provide internet, they provide coaches. Actually, we have some coaches in Uganda. You can also volunteer to be a coach for this year. Maybe if at all they are to hold the Django Girls, because they'll be building the same things. They'll be using the same tools, the same resources. Yeah, so you can actually go there. Since you're learning Django, you can go there as a coach instead of someone who has gone there to learn. But actually, it's in different countries. We have Django Girls. We have it in Uganda. It's called Django Girls Kampala. But I guess they even opened up Django Girls Mbarara and Django Girls Mbale. So in other regions they haven't yet, but at least we have Django Girls Kampala. So you can even follow them on Facebook, on Twitter, on different social media platforms. And today actually we want to use their tutorial as our case study, since it's always done in one day, so we want at least to break it down and it should be easy for you to get all the concepts quickly. So any questions so far before we do a demo about Django Girls, before we get started?
So how do I join a specific group? When I'm joining this Django Girls, should I select Django Girls Kampala or something like that?
Oh, joining the community. Most of the time actually they organize workshops. So when you go for that workshop, you always leave your email behind. So in case of anything, they always communicate via email and then notify you in case there is an event. But you can follow them on Twitter. They always post updates. In case of events, they always advertise or using social media platforms.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's do a simple demo. Today we're going to actually set up Django, set up a virtual environment and then set up our first project in Django. So same procedure as you do any other project. You create a root folder or a project folder for it. So I'm going to create one on my desktop.
Justin?
Yes.
I had one question about.
Yes.
I had a question about Django.
Okay.
I understand Django is a Python framework, but what I wanted to clarify is it a front end or a back end?
Oh, it's a back end framework. So Python is a server-side language.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
So React is the one for front end. So Django is a back end framework for Python.
Okay, thanks.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So to create our first Django project, you create a folder for it. Then you create a virtual environment. So a virtual environment is just an isolated folder that's going to help us keep our dependencies separate from our project. So most of the time, when you're working, you might have so many projects, and when you're installing these things, they might end up messing up your work. So what they always recommend is create a separate it's called a virtual environment. It just isolates your working tools or your dependencies for a given project. So for every project, you need a virtual environment just to keep your work neat and organized, not to mess up your files, because sometimes you might just install Django anyhow and it messes up your whole computer. So they always prefer when you're installing these dependencies, you put them in that container or in a folder, separate environment. And we're going to be using commands. So these commands are vary depending on the operating system. On Windows it's different, on Linux it's different. But we can have the same things. So let's follow this Django Girl story. So they're going to actually to show you what you need. I'm hoping you installed Python, because that's what we looked at last week. So actually, before you do anything, you have to make sure Python is installed on your computer. To check that, you can type CMD on Windows, like open that black screen. On Linux, you just open the terminal still. Then you type in Python. -- version, or on Windows you simply type the word Python without even including. If I told you install Python 3.9, you just type Python. It will show you what version of Python you're having. So that's the first step. You must make sure Python is installed on the machine, on your computer. So I'm using Linux, but Windows you just open CMD. So here they're just going to show you like whatever you need for like to get started with Django. So you can simply go through like this tutorial later on, and at the end of it all they want you to achieve something like this. So this is what they always expect at the end of the workshop, everyone to have a Django Girls blog where you can post, you can edit, you can publish, and it shows that the date when you publish the blog. Then you also add some CSS, some colors, because at the end of it all you need to have beautiful things. So the good thing here, they show you everything, like how to check for the Python version. You need a code editor or a text editor. You can either have, we have in Visual Studio Code, you can either use other alternatives like Sublime, Atom, those are all code editors. Then the other step is setting up a virtual environment. Yes. So they're telling us before we install Django, we'll get you to install an extremely useful tool to help you keep your coding environment tidy on your computer. It's possible to skip the step, but it's highly recommended. Starting with the best possible setup will save you a lot of trouble in the future. Yes, so that's what like that's the use of the virtual environment. It helps you like organize your work. So here they are showing you how to create folders. You can try out actually these commands. They cut across even on this is for creating a folder. When you do mkdir, it's like make directory, and then this is the name of the directory. The name can be anything. It can be Django Girls, it can be Django Project, it can be anything. Then cd is change directory, and then this is the command we want. So this is the command for creating a virtual environment. On both Windows and Linux it works. So you just type Python 3 -m, the way it is actually, then vemv. From here up to here is the command, then this is the environment name. So this can be anything. You can call it your name, you can call it your project name, you can call it anything. But the command, this has to be like this: Python 3 space -m, then space venv or vemv. So let's do this. So you simply, after knowing that's the command, so for every Django project you need a virtual environment. So you simply come, open your terminal, then type Python, the way it is, Python 3 space, make sure the space is there, -m, then vemv, then the environment name. It can be anything. Let me just try it. I'm going to call it I can call it env, I can call it vemv. Let me call it env for environment. So after typing the command, you just press enter and just observe what happens on your left. So we have a folder created here. So that's our environment. So wherever like you put in the command and it's run successfully, you always have a folder created for you automatically. So after creating the virtual environment, you need to activate it. So the command, there's also a command for activating the virtual environment. So to activate it, you just simply type, you either type source, but I prefer full stop. On Linux, actually this is different on Windows and Linux. So I'm using Linux, I type full stop, then the environment name. Remember I called it env. So if I told you called it your name or a different name, you need to put in the exact name. Then you put /bin, then /activate. So when your virtual environment is activated, you already see it in brackets like this. So that means my virtual environment is activated. The moment you don't see it in brackets, that means it's not. So you have to check the command or check the spelling of the words you used, or check the environment name or the spelling of activate or anything. So on Windows, you do something like you write the environment name without the full stop. On Windows, you write something like this. If I was running Windows, you write something like this. Then instead of the /, use a \. Then you put script, capital S. Don't forget to make it capital. Then / again, activate. So this is the command for activating the virtual environment on Windows. So it can't work on Linux, but on Windows it works. So after activating, there is also an alternative of deactivating. To deactivate it, that means you make your environment inactive. So you just type the word deactivate like that, and it's no longer active. How you tell it's no longer active, you won't see it in brackets. So to run the command again, I'm going to use the up arrows since I want to do it quickly, or you can simply retype full stop space /bin /activate. Remember, this is for Linux. Windows, you use scripts. So I activate it again. So after activating, now it's high time we install Django. So to install Django, it's also like use a command. You type pip space install. Pip is the package manager for Python. Now if I told you've worked with React, there is npm. So it kind of works like now npm for JavaScript is for Python you have pip. So it's a package manager for Python. So I just do pip install Django. Remember this, this is the only step that requires internet connection, because it's like you're downloading Django. So, but it takes around 7 MBs, you see, 7.9 MBs, they're not much. But just know it requires internet. The moment I disconnect my internet, I will see some red and yellow lines, and they will tell me network problem, please reconnect, try again, some yellow lines. But if at all it's a successful installation, they will already show me successfully installed. But remember, pip install Django, you need internet. So any questions so far? Because we have learned how to create a virtual environment using that command. Please, if at all you have a notebook, please note them down, because you're going to need them for every Django project you're starting. Creating a virtual environment, activating it, then installing Django. Those 3 commands so far. You're going to need them.
Hi Justin. My environment is not creating, so I don't know what the issue could be.
Your environment?
The first step that we did, Python 3-m, and then the name of your environment. Yeah, when I do that, it doesn't create any.
What does it do? Please share your screen. Let me stop sharing, and then you share your screen.
Oh. Just give me a few minutes to join.
Okay.
Justin.
Yes.
Well, okay, Pauline is sharing. I'll ask maybe after her. But maybe I wanted you to again take us through the steps because I didn't jot down.
The steps, eh? Okay. Let me first wait for Pauline to share her screen.
All right. So I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
This
okay.
part.
Yes. Okay,
When
Pauline,
I
eh?
do that,
Please remove the 3 because I guess you're having Python 3.9. Eh? So you simply do Python space
okay.
minus m
Mm.
space venv space then the environment name my m. Then you press enter. I guess it has been
Yeah,
created.
it still hasn't.
You just go and
Okay.
refresh. Eh? Yes, tap there. Do you have Python installed?
Hasn't. No.
Please install Python first. It can't work without Python. You first, okay, first type Python just and then press enter.
Python.
Yeah, actually, you first install Python. Eh? You go to the Python website. Do you know, like, okay, you just let me share my screen again.
All right.
So you come to the Python website, then you select download. Eh? Then you download like this. You come and download Python 3.9. Eh? After it will actually
Get
to
it.
just go to your downloads. Eh?
Okay.
Then you install. Then you try again. Eh?
You said I download Python
Yes.
3.9.4.
Yes, that one. And then when you're downloading, okay, when you're installing, don't forget to check the path. The moment you double click on the setup after downloading, there is that checkbox that says add Python to path, something like that. Please make sure you check the box because Python won't it won't be recognized in the shell. Like you can't have something like this when you forget to check that path. So make sure you add
Okay.
you add it. Then you try again.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Then Mercy, what error were you having?
I'm currently using my phone, but what I was saying, can you take me through the steps again? Because I didn't get them. I also have the same issue as her. I don't have Python installed.
You don't have Python installed. Please make sure you
Yeah.
first download Python, then you install it on your computer. So let me just create another project, like let's do it again. Eh? So you start by creating a folder, then you open that folder with your text editor or your code editor. So you open your terminal, so after doing that, some of your environment can go up to this step. So the command for creating a virtual environment, you type Python 3. Or remember, like, okay, may I have to specify, because I have two different versions of Python on my laptop. But on Windows, please don't specify. Since you only have one version, you just simply type Python. It will automatically know that's the version you want to use. -m, then vim, then the environment name. It can be anything. Let me try my env. That can work. So you simply press enter. So the folder will be created automatically. And then the other thing you should always do is you have to wait for the command to execute it. You only know it's done after it brings back this. Don't Ctrl+C, don't type any other thing unless the command is done executing. So when the environment is created, the next step is to activate it. Remember, on Windows you do the environment name. On Windows you do it like this. Now my case is my env, then /script, then /activator. And actually sometimes Windows always brings an error when it comes to activating, and you find yourself you can't. But when it brings that error, please you notify me, because it brings on some machines, on some it doesn't. Sometimes it can actually create the virtual environment, but you find problems trying to activate it. So you need to actually change some settings in PowerShell, but if at all it brings that error, please you notify me. So on Linux or on a MacBook, you just use the full stop or the word source, then the environment name, then /bin/activate, then you press enter. When it's activated, it will always bring that whatever environment name you put, it will always be the first in brackets like this. That's how you can tell your environment is activated. To deactivate it, you simply type the command deactivate. This cuts across the different operating systems. Activating, you can always use the up arrow to go back to your previous command if at all you don't want to type again. But you can still type again, it works. So actually you only install Django if at all you know environment is activated. Otherwise, when you don't install it, when you install it when it's not activated, that means you're installing Django on the computer. You even don't know where it is exactly. So always make sure your environment is activated before you install Django. So the command for installing Django, this requires internet, don't forget. pip install. Pip install Django. Yeah, and this cuts across whether Linux, whether Windows, whether Mac. Django is Django. Yeah. After installing, they will show you all these. Actually, you can even tell if Django is installed by typing after installing. If you want to be sure, but is it in my virtual environment? You simply type pip freeze. You can tell whatever like was installed in your virtual environment when you do pip freeze. So now Django is here. So whatever is installed, they'll always show you, because we're going to look at when we advance our projects and make them bigger, we might need to install things like maybe pillow for adding images in Django, maybe Django forms, blah blah blah. You need to like get to know what's inside your virtual environment. So to check, you just do pip freeze. Remember, pip is the package manager for Python. Mercy, any questions? So those are the simple steps, but actually the major ones you must recall is creating a virtual environment, then activating it, then installing Django. And actually remember, like you only need to redo these ones when you're working on a new project. Now let's say I've closed my project, or like let's say today we stopped here, so the next time you don't have to like create another virtual environment. You just need to like activate the existing one. Okay, let me try closing. So so next time I tell you like open your project, you don't have to repeat all the steps. You just have to open your project because it has Django installed, it has the virtual environment in. So you simply open it, actually to like nothing will be active, but at least the virtual environment is there, you can see it. So all you have to do is open your terminal. Then you don't have to recreate the virtual environment, you simply activate it. So if you're running Linux, you know the command to use now. Oh, so make sure you're putting the right spelling. So that's all you need, like when it's like after closing this project, you don't have to create another virtual environment, because when you create another one, that will call for installing Django again.
So a question.
Yes.
So
I can't hear you.
when I close it and then I open it, I always have to activate it.
Exactly, because when you try running, when you've not activated your virtual environment, it won't run. Now I'm going to show you how to create a Django project. And then now you see it only works if I told you virtual environment is activated. When it's not, that means your Django is inactive, since it was installed in the virtual environment. So your virtual environment has to be active. But is everyone okay with all the steps, like from creating a virtual environment, activating it, and installing Django?
Hello.
Hello.
I keep getting something like Python was not found, yet it's installed.
It's installed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you check the path?
I didn't see anything where I'm supposed to check that.
Okay. Please share your screen and then we install again. You're using Windows. Okay. Could be like when you're installing, you forgot to check the path. Please share your screen and then I will reinstall again whenever I'm saying. You still have the setup? Okay. Double click. Press uninstall. Please close. Double click. Are you seeing add Python 3.9 to path? Please check that. Then install. Close. Then you open CMD. Okay, you type Python. Just type Python there. Press Ctrl C. Press Ctrl C. Oh, actually, it's already there. Okay, close, because I saw Python is there already. Type CMD again. Open CMD. Type Python. Enter. Yes, Python is installed. When it's installed, you're going to see the Python shell opened. The moment you see those 3 angle brackets at the start, that means you're inside the Python shell. It's okay now. You can go back to there you were creating the virtual environment. Enter. Python was not found. Please restart the computer. Daisy, is it restarting? Daisy has left the call. Pauline, is it working now?
I had actually not seen that add to path, so I've just restarted the setup and added to path. It's installing.
Oh, okay. So let's first actually create our first Django project as we wait for the machines to restart. So after creating your virtual environment, activating it and installing Django, Now you're okay to start like your very first Django project. You do that by still typing a command, Django admin. Actually, this only works if at all your environment has Django inside, because sometimes you might create the virtual environment and forget to install Django. This can't work if your environment doesn't contain Django. So you simply type Django -admin start project. Start project is one word.
Justin, I can't see your screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me share. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was saying, let's create our first Django project. You simply type Django admin. So wherever you're starting a new Django project, you also have to record this command, Django admin start project. Then space the project name. So still this can be anything. You can choose to call yours website, you can choose to call it my site, you can choose to call it whatever project you're working on. The name can be anything, just a project name. So let's call it website.
Start project is one.
Yes, start project is one word. And later on, actually they are different. We have projects and then we have apps in Django, but we shall look at apps later on. So start project, we're going to call it website, then you press enter. So from here up to here is the command. Django admin start project is the command. Then what comes after is the project name, and this can be anything. Then you simply press enter. So after pressing enter, if it's a successful execution, it will always still generate for you for the code website or whatever name you called it here. So since our project is called website, they will generate for us a folder called website automatically. So when I try to open this folder, it has another subfolder with the same name. We have website inside, then we have manage.py. So manage.py is the one responsible for running our Django project. Wherever I want to run Django, we're going to be calling upon manage.py. So this has so many other files. We shall have a session about these files. We look at one by one, what goes and their uses, like their purpose, what's done in settings, what's done in URLs, what are the use of these other files, init.py. We shall have a session about that. So for now, if at all you have your project started successfully, our next command is to at least have Django to see if everything is well. So to run Django, remember we're going to be using manage.py, and currently we are in Django girls. Yet manage.py is inside our website. So how do you move to website in the terminal? Which command do we use? Now terminal command.
To move to what?
Website, because currently we're inside Django girls, so we want to move out of Django girls, and you see exactly. So you just see the website. So you type cd website, then you press enter, then you just run python manage.py, then run server. Run server is one word. Yeah, and our project is okay. So they have told us they have set the development server at this URL. So you can simply highlight the URL, copy it and paste. highlight the URL, then I open the browser, any browser, Firefox, Chrome, any. So you come here and then you Control V or you paste, then you press enter. So when you have that screen, that means you have installed Django successfully. So they're telling us that the install worked successfully. Congratulations. So we have Django installed. So when you have that screen, you celebrate. So any questions so far? Any questions?
Justine,
Yes.
sorry to take you
None
back a
from me.
little.
It's been quite clear from me.
Yes, please, Pauline.
Yes, I was saying sorry to take you back.
It's okay.
I've managed to create that new folder of the environment, my env.
Okay.
So on the next step, you said for a Windows person, we shouldn't do the dot, then space, then my env being activated.
So for Windows, you type the environment name, then backslash script with a capital S, then activate, still backslash activate.
Script, then slash activate.
Could you please share your screen? Because at least
Alright.
I want everyone to have Django installed up to this point. Then we shall continue from there. The next day. So let's first make sure
Could you
everyone
stop
is
sharing? Alright. Okay. Yeah, it's well. So you say that I put my
that's a
env
forward
and
slash.
script.
Use the other one. Use the other slash. That one.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
Scripts. Scripts with S. Activate. Your environment is activated. So they even show it to you in green. So
Pardon?
please install Django now. You just simply do pip install Django. So that's the command for activating on Windows.
Yes. Pip install
Django.
Django.
Justin. So mine, when I restarted, it went past the Venv part, but the activating is not working. It's giving a security error.
Oh, activated that. Okay, let's first wait for Pauline, then you share your screen. There's actually a
Okay.
command you're supposed to type in PowerShell.
Oh.
Pauline, you have Django installed successfully. So the next
Oh,
command you
okay.
do is Django admin start project.
Start project, you had
Django
said is
Django
one word.
hyphen admin. Start
Pardon?
project is one word, but the command is Django, then dash admin, non space.
Oh, okay. Mm. I have to give it any name.
Yeah, you can call it any name.
Okay, let me call it trial
Okay, then you
project.
press enter.
Sorry.
When it's done, you always see like whatever name you called it on your left.
Ah, yes.
So
Same.
when you click on it, it has manage.py, then also try a subfolder called trial project inside. So you see the now move away from Django class to trial project. CD
Yeah.
trial project. But actually you have to make sure you see the ones.
Okay.
Press enter. Then Python manage.py
Yeah.
run server.
Pardon?
Python space manage.py space run server. Then you press enter.
So that command is to enable it to run, like how we do the go live
It starts the development
when we're
cycle.
using HTML.
Yes.
Okay.
So those who are doing those who are doing React, there's something like npm start, blah blah blah. So for Python, you just start the
Yes.
server by typing Python manage.py run server. So ignore the red lines
Run
for
server.
now. We shall remove them in our next session. But you copy that link.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can simply open your browser and then you type localhost, because 127.0.0.1 is the same as localhost. You can simply open your browser, type localhost colons 8000.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you have Django running.
Thank you.
Welcome. Daisy, please share your screen. Because actually sometimes on Windows, it's always restricted. So you have to like first change the settings in PowerShell. The moment you get to like when you land on this error, a security error, you go to the start menu, then you type PowerShell. Then right click on it, don't open, first close it, open PowerShell again, right click on the one highlighted in blue, light blue, that one, right click, run as administrator, because when you run as a normal user it won't work. So it has to bring for you like administrator on top. So you type set execution policy. Set is capital S, hyphen, capital E, execution, then policies, no space, capital P, no space, no hyphen, capital P, space, remote sign, remote capital S, capital R, sorry. Then signed, still one word, signed capital S. Signed, then I put capital Y, capital Y, press enter. Then you type, okay, you try again, go back here, don't close it, come back on in your text editor, try activating again. Yes, now it works. So most of the time, like I said, is restricted when you to do set execution policy, they always bring you restricted. So you have to like set it to remote signed. Now you can install Django. So if your environment happens like prefix to be activated, you first go to the settings, then set the execution policy to remote signed. Has it finished? Days you no longer see in your screen. Okay, so now you start a project. Django Python admin start project. You call it anything you want. Start project is one word. Project. Space the project name. Okay, you can press enter. A folder called introduction is created automatically. So you can click on it and see if at all the second folder is also created. Yes. So CD introduction. Then Python money.py run server. Run server is one word. I'll press enter. Yeah, it's also running. So you can go to localhost or you can copy that link and paste in the browser and see. Or you can control click. Yeah, it's running. So we also have Django installed successfully. So what I wanted to show you lastly is after like doing that, like some steps you don't need, they are just one-time commands. If I told you to work on the same project, you don't have to repeat them. So if I'm to close, okay, let me share my screen again. This is my project. So it's already running. It's running. So if I happen to close everything, let me close everything. So the next time I come, I'll just open my project. Let's say tomorrow or the next day when I was working on the same project, you simply open your project with Visual Studio Code. Then open your terminal. You see now it has the virtual environment and it also has the project in. So you don't have to create another virtual environment, you don't have to start a new project. So you simply activate the existing virtual environment. Then you don't have to create a project, so you simply cd website. Then oh, I wrote cd instead of cd. So cd website. Then you type Python manage.py run server. So this is all you need, by the way. You don't have to create a new environment, you don't have to create a new project. The next time you just come, you only do them if at all you're starting a fresh project. Now when I do localhost 8000, I can still run. So now we just have to run two commands, activating, then running our server. But you have to make sure you see already cd, because and the other thing I forgot, when you stop your server and try opening the browser, when you Ctrl+C, you've stopped the server. The moment your terminal looks like this, that means your server is no longer running. So when I try reloading this site, they will bring me this error: localhost refused to connect, check the proxy and the firewall. So I have to come back here and then run again. To start my server, I simply have to run this. So now it's running. When I come back and reload, yeah, it's working now. So any questions for today? Okay, if there are no questions, please go through the Django documentation. Actually, they have a pause application there, but you can just simply go through it, or you can even try it, and then you can also continue with Django, like Django Girls tutorial. You simply type in Django Girls, then you select tutorial. So they have all these. You can skip all these ones because we've done all of them, and you come up to your first Django project. You're going to find actually all the commands we've been using. Though these ones, they explain a lot. So if you get some time, please go through the tutorial and you can continue. Don't wait for Justin. You can actually go ahead and put in an app, because our next step is to add in the Django app. Django models, what happens in the models, what's the Django admin, URLs. We shall have a look at all these. How do you add in HTML? How do you create a super user? Because the next time we shall look at, it's a lot, by the way, so please don't wait for me. When you do actually just this, we already have the Django administration. So how will we be in position to log in? So I want you to figure out that at least know how to create a super user, and make sure when you're running your Django project like this, when it's running, then instead of you going to localhost just 8000, you go to localhost 8000/admin, and you'll be make sure you're in position to log in. But before you do that, make sure you first create a super user, otherwise it won't work. Any questions for today? Any questions? So that's it for today. see you next time. Please practice. Don't forget the comments.